Have you discovered that less and less people are opening your marketing emails? Well, in this video, I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process of some ideas of writing the ideal subject line that means people are going to open your emails. G'day, Ben Futrell here, co-founder of Max My Profit. We're all about helping you build the business you imagine. Now, if you imagine that when you sent an email out, more people would open it and respond and possibly buy things from you, then this video is definitely for you. I'm going to take you through 7 different tips and hints on how to make sure that you're writing subject lines for your emails that will get your emails opened. Now, email marketing is a fantastic way to market any business, and it's still a very valid way, although it is getting more and more difficult to get people to open emails because a lot of internet service providers are putting your emails into people's spam and junk folders. You've probably noticed this yourself. But what you do need to do is make sure that you give yourself the best chance of having your emails open. Now, I've been email marketing for over 20 years now and been copywriting, and I've got some tips for you that I've tested and measured over that time that are guaranteed to give you better open rates on your emails. Now, tip number 1 is to use numbers in your subject line. And this is things like 7 ways to, or the number 1 thing. Using numbers in the subject line gets people's attention, but also clearly tells people what they can expect when they open the email. So it could be something like 7 ways to grow your business without having to work harder. It could be 3 ways to lose weight without having to give up carbs. That type of email headline will get people opening your email. Now, you've got to make sure that your email delivers, okay? So you've probably heard of this term called clickbait. You don't want to just make it so people click on it and then they get disappointed when they get to the email. You want to make sure that once you've got them through to your email copy, that your email copy delivers on what it is your email headline said they were going to get. All right, tip number 2 is to make sure you put some keywords into your headlines. And some of the things that you can do is you can use things like reader groups. So these are people that you want to open your email. So for example, when I send an email out, I quite often put in square brackets, I'll put business owners or attention business owners. You could put something like, maybe you're a newborn baby photographer. You could put something like, new mums attention new mums. Okay, so you've got to think about the words that people might be really triggered by. If you're, a finance company, rather than just saying, do you need finance, you might put buying a car, ? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to really get that reader to notice that word, that keyword, and get them compelled to open your email. So if you've said something to them that is going to resonate with them, then they're more likely to open your email. So for example, let's use tip 1 and 2 together, 38 ways to guarantee you have the perfect wedding. Now, if I was a wedding coordinator, that email would definitely get opened by people in my database if they were thinking about getting married and having a wedding. So there you go. So definitely important not only to put numbers in it, but also put words in your email subject line that really are going to resonate with your target market. All right, tip number 3, now that I've said all that, is to make sure you keep it short and sweet. If you have really long email subject lines, quite often they get chopped off by different email programs. So some people won't even see your full subject line, but make sure also that your email is short and sweet. Sometimes I get these big long emails and I just don't read them, okay? So, and I think I'm no different to a lot of people. We're all busy, so make sure that you keep that in mind as you're writing things like email subject lines, that your email subject lines is to be short, sharp, and to the point. Don't go on waffling too much in those email subject lines, otherwise you will lose people's attention. All right, tip number 4, and I've sort of touched on this already, and that is to use a really compelling intriguing question in your subject line. So, want to make money fast? ? Are you buying a car? ? Want to learn how Bob doubled his profits? ? So make it an intriguing question. You've probably heard of that term, that curiosity killed the cat. Everybody is curious and they're more likely to click on your email if there is some intriguing question that you could ask. So, 3 out of 10 people fail. You want to know why? ? Something like that is going to make people want to get into the email. Okay, so definitely think about the questions that you could be asking, or maybe the questions that you're asking in your sales process, and you could use those as email subject lines. All right, tip number 5 is to make sure that you're very specific and concise about what it is that is in that email. It's really important because what you don't want is the people open the email and find that it's completely different to what they expected. Now, we see this all the time with things like SEO, with websites. Google sends people to people's websites and they leave very quickly because the website is not relevant, and that is not a great experience for a user. So the same thing applies for an email. If your emails are getting clicked through but they're not getting read, or they're not clicking through from that email email to something else. The internet service providers, ISP, a lot of these technology companies know that your emails are ineffective, and they will start to put you into spam folders, and your deliverables will go down. So make sure that your email subject line is really clear and concise. So it's not oblique, it's not a gray area. It's very clear as to what they're going to get when they click on the email. All right, number 6, inject some of your impersonality into your email subject line. So if you've got something quirky about you, put it into your subject lines. If people know this about you, put it into your subject lines. Make sure that when you're writing these, you don't just go full clinical and copywriter on your audience. Make sure that you do have some personality in there. Remember, people buy from people, not from subject lines, not from emails, but people buy from people they like. Okay, so you want to make sure that if you have got a bit of if you do have a YouTube channel, for example, or if you've got a customer database that know you, you can put a bit of your personality in there. You can talk about a pet or a wife or a husband or a child or whatever it is that is going to be relevant, that they're going to relate to. So long as you stick to those previous rules of being clear and concise and keeping it short and sweet, you can put your personality into it and it will really make a big difference. All right, number 7 is my final tip, but it's probably the most important one out of all of these tips, and that is to test, and then guess what? Test some more. When you send emails out, you have the ability with pretty much any email software program to monitor the click-throughs. So how many people opened, how many clicked through, how many people unsubscribed. You can go through and you can have a look and see exactly what headlines are working well for you. Was it a number? Was it a fear-based? Was it promise-based? Was it, what was it that you wrote in that email headline that people really resonated with? And you can do more of those. So I really highly suggest that you set up some sort of spreadsheet or way of being able to keep a record of all the subject lines that you send out, and then all the key performance indicators. So open rate, click-through rates, even purchase rates, referral rates, forward rates, whatever it is that's important to you. Make sure that you're looking at the data, because the data never lies. Doesn't matter what we like, doesn't matter what we think. It's more about what your prospect or your customer does when they receive that email. All right, hopefully you found that helpful. And if you think that's going to get more of your emails open, smash that like button for me and let me know that you enjoyed the video. If you've got any other tips, if you've been email marketing for a while and you've got some tips that have worked for you, put them down in the comments. Let's get the comments going with some other ideas on how to get our emails opened up more. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.